Hello, welcome back everybody. This is Titus Valspar once again. It's been about a week since I put the last video up, and I decided since then that I'm going to make a wholehearted effort to try and put up one video a week. I was thinking about what we could cover today, and I decided to give some pointers on command points and their value. So first off, what we're going to do is I wanted to look at the weapons command building, which is a building that I feel is sometimes overlooked, mainly because it doesn't offer any defensive strategy. But as we can see here, the weapons command center has a direct correlation with your command points, which overall dictates in the beginning of a battle what you are able to do with your A-10 bomber or your Hellfire missile, your EMP, your orbital strike, combat stims, med packs, all depending on what level to what level you've unlocked everything. I've seen several attacks launched on my base and attacks done within my alliance and alliance war where command points have been utterly and entirely wasted. So I'm going to hopefully help you all understand a little better how they can be used. Now let's go ahead and, oh, it's right there. Let's go ahead and take a look at the research facility here and look at each of the command points individually. So first off, you have the A-10 bomber, the A-10 strike, which is the cheapest of all to start off with. It costs 3 command points initially, and obviously after one use, each of these have increasing prices and increasing in command points to use. This is really good for dealing widespread damage. Not entirely widespread, but relatively, as it will affect any buildings within a 3-space radius. And you see the spaces when rearranging your base or laying stuff down, that grid that shows up. So anything in a 3x3 square, essentially, will be affected by this strike. The signal flares, I personally don't like these a whole lot, but they do not change their cost as the battles progress. They always cost 1 command point to use, and basically they just tell every single one of your troops where to go. Again, I'm not a huge fan of this use. As you can see, it's still sitting at level 1 while I'm at a level 14 headquarters, so I don't find it overly effective and don't use it hardly ever. And then we have the Hellfire missile, which initially starts off costing 5 points, and in the recommendation here, it recommends to destroy any single target, mainly because of the 1 square radius which it affects. However, there's a loophole that I've found in that, which I hope to show you here shortly as we go in and actually perform a live battle, which I'm kind of excited and also apprehensive about. Moving on down the line, the med packs basically offer healing to your units, and they start off costing 5 command points, and again, increase in price as they are used throughout the battle. These are really useful as they can prevent the death or heavy damage that is dealt out to your troops, and ultimately help them retain their vitality and be used again in a later battle. A lot of people don't really understand this one, the EMP. the electromagnetic pulse emitter. I personally like it. I don't use it maybe as much as I probably could or should. It costs 6 command points initially to use, and it renders all mechanics, including your own, if you're not careful with it, helpless in a battle for a duration of 8 seconds. So when using this, you want to make sure that you place it far enough away from your troops, especially if you bring along tanks, Tomahawks, Apaches, air drones, airstrike drones, strikers. Keep it away from any of those, as it will interfere with your course of battle. The orbital strike, very, very powerful, which I enjoy a lot. It costs 10 command points initially to use. And again, it's recommended to be used to take out individual structures. But again, I'm going to show you a loophole here where you can use it a little more to your advantage. It always only fires for 5 seconds, but deals an incredible amount of damage, which makes it really quite effective in battle. And then the last one that I currently have access to is the combat stim, which, again, fairly inexpensive initially, costs 3 command points to use, and it increases the damage and the speed of every troop which is in the radius when it is deployed and lasts over a 7-second duration. Basically, it multiplies your forces for that short time. So, for example, if you bring along 50 Rangers and you deploy this, you get the extra firepower to have an extra Ranger and a half for every 2 Rangers or thereabouts. Not crazy about the math on it, but it's very, very cool to use and to see in action. So that's it as far as the command points go. One thing that you are also able to do with the Weapon Command Center is you can deploy your Strikeforce to it. So if I were to pick this up, you can see that I could drop it down here on my Weapons Command Center, which would give me an additional 4 points. I'm not going to do that currently because I want to deploy them with my Rangers here. So let's go ahead and take this into a battle, really take a look at it. So I'm going to go in and assign out members on my Strikeforce. Let's see. Where is it? There it is. Sergeant Valspar. That's my other account that I have here in this alliance, which I will probably do a couple of videos and tutorials to give a couple more basic maneuvers in the coming weeks for those of you who haven't reached headquarter 14 quite yet. Sergeant Valspar, that account I have currently at a headquarter 7. So still some fairly basic maneuvers to take care of there. Facebook, I'm going to go ahead and assign out Vince there. Thanks, shout out to Vince for being the first person to really make a connection, having watched my videos and given a couple suggestions here. So we're going to assign him out to Facebook, Strikeforce. Back to my alliance. Let's see. We'll assign out Indominus Rex. He's our general, and we tend to get along very well. It's been quite fun to work with him over the past several months. And then my last Facebook Strikeforce friend that I can use at the current moment would be Claudia, so we'll go ahead and put him on there. Now we'll drag these out to my Ranger tarmacs, one at a time. Oop, missed that one. Put them out there. There we go. So for any of you who aren't familiar with using Strikeforce, I'll take a second to explain this. So I have my Rangers here currently. The one tarmac I don't have enough Strikeforce to deploy. So let's take a look at their stats here. I currently have them at level 14. Each individual Ranger deals 91 damage per second, which is some pretty hard hitting. The medics that come in the squad dish out 10 hit points. They can really take a beating as they have 703 hit points and cost 650 fuel to train. Now let's take a look at those stats for Rangers that are on a Strikeforce boosted tarmac. Now as you can see, you still have all the original stats listed here, but you can see that they have an additional 73 hit capacity, as well as an extra 528 hit points. So overall, it just makes them that much stronger and that much more effective in a battle. So if you aren't using Strikeforce, I would recommend that you do. So without further ado, let's go ahead and hit the quick match button here and see who we get placed up against. Alright, looks like we're looking at a base of Mr. or Sergeant Colonel, I don't know what his ranking is, Mezufsafi. Don't know if that's how he says his name, but looks like he's got some fairly good defenses set up here. He's got some type of concealed defense there. Judging by that ring, I would like to guess that it's probably an ion cannon. So, gonna use some of my command points initially to take those out, because most structures, excluding the headquarter building, which you can see he has a 15. I knew that from the get-go looking down here at his metal rain. So your headquarters, when they are destroyed, as you all probably know, give you 10 command points. All other structures will give you 2. But structures that come out of the war factory, such as the ion cannon or the air med hive, those will release 4 command points upon destruction, and the stealth generators will release 3. So what I typically like to do with my Hellfire initially is, if you have 2 buildings that are sitting adjacent or kitty corner to another, which you really don't have any on this map, by placing a Hellfire carefully between the 2, you can take both of them out. But since that's not on this setup here, I'm going to go ahead and just target directly his artillery here. And then I'll probably use my A10 strike to hit this dome defense and this concealed defense, his ion cannon there. Go in and kind of clean everything up with an ion cannon before deploying my troops up here on the north end of his base. So let's see how things go here. The prospects look pretty good. I'm feeling alright about it, so let's go ahead and see what damage we can do. Alright, so like I said, I'm going to start off with my Hellfire missile right here on his artillery. Just as I expected, took it up, cleaned it up quite nicely. So we'll bring the A-10 bomber in here. Notice how I placed it directly between the 2 to damage both of them at the same time. I've already explained about the free orbital strike, which comes on having an ion cannon deployed, so we'll use the free one to take out his ion cannon, what's left of that, and do some damage of that dome defense, and do some damage to his sentry tower there. And then I'm personally not a huge fan of the metal rains because they deal heavy damage. So I'm going to use my other orbital strike to clean him up. And then bring it over here to clean up a little bit of his artillery. Command point wise, that's all I can really do for the moment. So we're going to come up here to the north, and we're going to drop down my Rangers and my command and control vehicle. I'm going to direct my command and control vehicle to come over here to this artillery cannon. Oh, there's some stealth tanks coming out there, so that's not good for my command and control vehicle. Bring them over here to this. As you can see, my Rangers are kind of going to work and picking things apart. Slowly getting a couple more command points to use. Go ahead and take out this other artillery here. See if I can't latch onto this artillery. Nope, it wanted to take the other one. So we're going to heal him, get him out of there. My command and control vehicle's taking some heavy damage there. Looks like he's doing alright at the moment. So my Rangers are spread out and are just dealing heavy damage at this point. And I have more command points than I really know what to do with. So we'll go ahead and clean up his... Now that's what I was talking about, placing the Hellfire right between two structures. I'm going to use a combat stim here. I'm going to speed that up. And just as I expected or hoped, we ended up with a 3-star victory. Got a bunch of medals back there. Oh, looks like we even got some rare loot to build some more in the war factory. So that's always an added bonus. So as you can see here, I did... it's pretty much given at this level of warfare. You're going to lose troops going into whatever battle you're involved in. But 33 is not that bad whatsoever, especially with the payoff of the oil there, or the fuel that I got back. So, overall successful. I will probably, later today, or possibly even this next coming week, go and show you a battle again with the command point strategy, but on the lower level where I don't have as many luxuries on the troops that I have and the weapons command options over there in that other account. So that's really what I wanted to show you this week. Give you a couple of ideas as far as things that you can do command point wise. As you can see, I've got some resources to take care of, some retraining to do. So I'm going to sign off for now, let you get back. Again, if there's anything that you want to see in an upcoming video, please send me a shout out here in the comments below. Don't be afraid to subscribe and speak your mind. We're all here to become better commanders and move onwards and upwards. So I'm going to let you go, but I hope to see you again here possibly later today, if not next week for sure. Alright, so this is Titus Valspar once again, signing off. Have a great day.